Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
What are you happy you're doing? It's not always about the money. It's about my family. Because I was the dad where like my kids would get off the bus after I built the shop, and my house is 350 feet away from the shop. They get off the bus and I would wave to them. They would run in the house, and then like I'd come up for dinner and then run back. And I'm like, I don't want to be that dad where they like when they grow up and be like, yeah, my dad was awesome. He had a bunch of classic cars, cool garage. Never saw him. He was always working.
Today, I'm chatting with Jason Papadoplos, owner of Jay's Complete Auto Detailing. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On the Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. This episode is brought to you by Blue Door Financial. Blue Door Financial will help you save money and reduce taxes to live a fuller financial life. To learn more, visit Blue Door Financial online at BLUdoorfinancial.com. That's BLUdoorfinancial.com. What's up, podcast episode 115 of the On the Stacks podcast here in the Blue Door studio, and welcome to the show. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, so I got to admit, I really only had you on the show to get free auto detailing.
Free detailing. That's how it works.
I'm kidding.
That's the whole scheme behind this, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I was scheming behind the scenes
Awesome.
Before I had you on. I'm like,
right.
got to have this guy on.
I mean, we could hook you up with something.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, like, I'm like, when it comes to cars, man, I don't know much.
No?
Like, I don't know. I'm not like a car guy. Like, I love cars.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about them.
Anything? Okay.
No, nothing.
Well,
yeah.
I could take care of that for you.
Yeah. So you can like school me. You can school me on all your car knowledge today.
Sure thing.
And but you know, speaking of cars and your love for cars, like where does that come from? Where does that start?
So that starts from my dad. I mean, he has a bunch of classic cars at home, and that's where it started. Like when I was young, my brother and I just going to car shows with him and hanging out with all of his friends, and you know, prepping the cars for the car shows, and that's where it started.
So you cleaned cars at like you cleaned your dad's car?
Yeah, it was like slave labor, man. That's how you know, you want to eat tonight, you need to clean my car and get it ready for the car show tomorrow.
Yeah. So, all right, so you're a kid cleaning cars.
Yep.
And you probably never thought you'd actually be like really doing
Never
this.
in a million years. I mean, not even a few years ago that I think I would be doing it full time.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah. So what were you doing prior to, like, take me back, you know, after high school, like what was your,
graduated high school in 2000 from Hanover, went to King's, finished in 4 years, got my elementary education teacher, my degree and everything. And then it was like time to find a job. So I subbed for a year at Hanover, where I went to school with all my old teachers, it was awesome. And I was coaching baseball there with some friends, and got lucky. Like the next year, a spot opened up in 4th grade, and I was hired. So like I only had to wait a year, and
that's
boom,
not bad.
I was in there. Not bad at all for this, that time in this area. It was great. So I was in 4th grade the entire time up until last year when
never got out of 4th grade.
Never got out of 4th grade. I can't teach. I told my son he's going to be in 4th grade next year. I'm like, but after that, I can't teach you anything.
That's it.
I can't help you with your homework. I don't know anything beyond 4th grade.
4th grade. That's
done.
You're
cut it off.
Maxed out. Cut off.
It gets way too difficult after that.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I had a blast like in the early years of teaching, because you had a lot of free reign to do a lot of fun activities with the kids.
Yeah, like what?
Like just science activities and like, having free time with them and doing fun projects. And over the years, that was less and less because everything's focused on, making sure you get all of your curriculum finished and the good old PSSAs and make sure you have everything ready for that. And it wasn't as fun as it used to be, for like the last couple years.
Yeah. So math and science.
Math and science were my two.
You're a math and science guy.
Yeah.
So you love what did you have like a passion for math and science? Like
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went and got my master's in elementary ed.
Yeah.
Math. I finished that up at Wilkes, and then science was fun too because of all the fun activities you do with the kids, and like they would be pumped up for like experiments and stuff, and bringing out all the stuff and just making a mess out of the room, and like the janitors will clean it up.
Let somebody else deal.
You spilled it, that's fine, or glitter all over the place, like they would,
Yeah.
But that aspect of it was fun, but like I said, over the years it was less and less. You couldn't do as much, and then with the pandemic, that was.
So that was was that it for you? So like, all right,
that wasn't the breaking point of me like stopping to teach. I mean,
okay,
that kind of showed me what I could do with my detailing business. Like, I remember driving home March 13th when school closed. Like, oh, we're gonna take 2 weeks off and slow the curve, and then we'll be back.
Yeah, the famous 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Famous two weeks.
Famous 2 weeks, man.
So I remember driving home, and like I got 5 phone calls on the way home. They're like, hey, we heard you're gonna be off school for the next 2 weeks. Can I bring my Corvette up to get it detailed? Yeah, let me check my calendar when I get home. So it was like, I scheduled a bunch of cars, and I was like, wow, okay. And we really didn't have anything to do for school. Like, we didn't have Google Classroom set up or anything. So it was like, send the kids home with books and, here's some work for you to do. We'll see you in 2 weeks after our vacation.
Yeah.
What I mean? That's
2
what it
weeks,
was.
yeah.
2 weeks. So I was detailing full time for those 2 weeks. Right. And I was like, wow, this is what it's like to do this full time. So that kind of put a bug in my head. That's what kind of started it. Cause for years prior to that, I always joked with my wife. I'm like, I'm going to retire from teaching early and do detailing full time. And she was like, no way, you can't do that. And I'm like, I kind of like to, I think I could do it, and, and then I would, in my head, I'm like, well, I have my master's. I was working on my second master's, and like, I have all this time invested and money through college and everything. It's like, all right. But,
yeah. So, all right. So I want to go back a little bit. So,
sure. Yep.
So when did you actually, so you were just doing the detailing, like just on the side,
to keep me busy
while you were a teacher.
Yeah.
So
like it started. So I got hired 2005, 2006 school year. So now I worked with my dad at the cleaners all through high school. So like that first summer when I was subbing, I'm like, oh, I'll go back to the cleaners and work for the summer. And I'd work there, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is why I went to school. Like, I don't want to work in the family business anymore.
Okay.
So the next summer, I was like, man, I just love cleaning cars. Like, for me, and still to this day, like, I like to go in the garage, put some music on. If I'm like last night, I was working late, I'll have a beer while I'm working, and it's just relaxing to me. So I loved cleaning my cars. I'm like, man, I can make a couple extra bucks on the side in the summer to keep me busy because I can't sit around. I'm constantly going, like constantly. So, the first summer I did maybe 20 or 30 cars for friends, and some coworkers brought their cars up, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. A couple extra bucks in my pocket. The next summer it was like 50 cars. And then it was like not even in the summer anymore. It was like through the fall into the winter.
So it just kept adding on.
It just kept blowing up like crazy. And I was like, all right, this is fun. Like, this is good. We got all this extra money in our pocket, like, to spend. I was spending on my cars at the time, like, because it was just extra money. You know, I wasn't using it for. I mean, my wife and I both had teaching jobs. She's a teacher as well, so it was like, we both have great incomes coming in. So this is just extra play money, pay for vacation, and then my son was born in 2012, so it was like, all right, extra cash for that kind of stuff, but. Then my daughter was born. Well, let me go back a little bit too, because my wife was furloughed twice from her teaching position at Northwest. And the second time she got furloughed, we were expecting our second child. And I was like, man, she got laid off again for a second time. Like, is she going to get her job back? And then is she going to be able to find a job anywhere else? That's when I started my Facebook page, the business page. Okay. So you're like, now I need to make, I definitely need to make some extra money now. That's what it was. Just it was like, it'll be good to have a lot of extra money there just in case, she doesn't get a job and she has to be a stay-at-home mom, which she'd love to do anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could just work 24 hours a day. That's fine. But I was like, all right, I'm going to start a Facebook page. And that for me was like the breaking point of expanding the business, because now I'm putting before and after pictures up and putting videos up. People can see what kind of work I'm doing. And then the messages started coming in.
And this is before the kids.
This was this was right around the time my daughter was born.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2015.
Okay.
And that's when the business really exploded. You know, that's when it was like fly home from school 3:30, car's already in the driveway, clean that till 10, 11, 12 o'clock, go in the house. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, some of them that were bad. Yeah.
So like you would come home from teaching.
Yep.
At 3:00.
Yeah.
And then you go in the garage and work till like 11.
And yeah, run inside, eat dinner with the family.
Yeah.
Peace out. See you later. I'm going back to work. And I mean, I was working out of my house garage, so it was attached to the house. So
right.
Like,
so you weren't far.
I wasn't far. And like, you know, my son, when he got older, he'd come out and see what I was doing and, you know, open the door and, hey, Dad. Hey, good night, buddy. See you tomorrow.
A bucket of water.
Yeah. Knock some pink soap, some pink soap over, grab a beer out of the fridge.
Yeah,
you know,
whatever. Just go on his merry way.
Yeah. So, so I mean, you know, some nights you were there, I had to get the car done because it needed to be done because I'm going to school the next day.
Right.
And the people don't want to wait a full 24 hours or longer to get their car back. So, you know, you put the hours in and get it done.
Yeah.
And I was working by myself. So it was just me, you know, and some of those cars are with two people takes a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was, that was pretty trying on all of us. I mean, it was tough for my wife too, because she's trying to, you know, come home from school. She's exhausted. Then she's got my son and now my daughter, 2 kids, trying to cook dinner, get everything ready. And then I'm running back out to work and she's trying to put 2 kids to bed now. You know, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough, you know?
Yeah. So how long did you kind of do that for? Like, and I'm sure the business, you know, while you were doing that probably, you know, obviously grew.
Oh yeah. It just kept growing.
Yeah. So like, what was that like?
It was stressful, but I loved it. Like it was stressful because I'm at school all day and my phone's blowing up while I'm teaching. I could hear it, bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
like
bringing
lunch,
my car later.
So like my 30-minute lunch period was me like shoving a sandwich down my throat and then calling like 15 people to schedule appointments, you know? And like at the end of the day, before I left, like as I'm doing my prep work for the next day of school, I'm also like on the side, like texting people like, yeah, drop it off at 3:30. I'll be home. I'm flying home. I'll be there in a couple minutes. You know, like it was insane. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, so that was 2016, 17, 18. We decided we were going to move. We were in Plymouth Township. That's where our first house.
Okay. So you don't even have this nice, really cool, awesome garage that you have.
I mean, my garage was pretty cool at the old house. It was a 2-car garage, single door. So you could fit some bigger stuff in there. Not like huge trucks like we're doing now.
No boats.
No trailers.
Yachts.
No, you got to do those in the driveway, which is tough, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, my driveway used to look like a used car lot half the time because I got cars parked in the front lawn, around the side and across the street. Like it was insane.
Wherever you can fit them.
Wherever I could fit them. So yeah, 2018, the problem was every time I clean a car, I have my Camaro, which is my logo, I'd have to pull that outside. So I'm cleaning someone's car and if, you know, now there's pollen and everything. So I pull my car back in and I have to clean my car now. It was insane. Like I don't like my car to be dirty. I take it to car shows and stuff and car cruises. So my wife was ready to move, but I wasn't because we put a lot of money into the house. You know, I fixed a lot of things.
Yeah. So you had a lot invested.
I had a lot invested and I was like, the only thing left was like the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the only thing left we had to do. And I was like, I don't really want to leave, but we were in the Nanticoke school district and not that whatever. Our kids were going to go to school wherever. But we were like, my wife was ready to go. And I said, I just remember coming in the house and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to move. And she's like, like now? I'm like, no, I'm just done. I'm ready. And I told her the whole thing about the car sitting outside and getting like bird shit on it. And
yeah. So you had to wash your car every time in between you washed the customers.
Yeah, all the time. And just starting it and pulling it out like cold, like I had to change spark plugs in it all the time. Like it's not good for the car because it's not warming up.
It's not good.
Not good. So I said, but the only thing we need to find somewhere that has land that I could build a garage. Like I was set on building a 40 by 60 pole barn, which is what I have now. I said I was set. That was the size garage I wanted. I wish I went bigger now because it's filled, but
yeah.
That's what I wanted. I said, I want a nice house, but we need property. So we found our house in Wapwallopin where we're currently at. And, we moved out there within, I had intentions in a few years. I was, once we were there and settled in, I was going to build a shop. Well, the other thing I was worried about is now I'm moving like a half hour away from all my clientele. Are they going to come out that far? And my wife, she made a good point. She's like, Jay, you're like a hairdresser. If someone's hairdresser moves they're still going to travel to that because they love that hairdresser. They don't want anyone else touching their hair. I was like, that's a good point. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if it holds true.
I hope it holds true.
A true test.
It is. It was. And all those customers still come. But now I have customers from Mountaintop, and I have customers that come from Berwick and Bloomsburg because we're closer to them. Hazleton, they're all coming in now too. So the first year up there, I remember moving, and I had to shut down for a week because we're packing our stuff up, and I'm like, I can't detail cars in between trying to pack up a house.
And you weren't even doing this full time yet, right?
Not even full time yet. No, this is still
you're still doing science projects.
And now we're moving in the springtime, which is like the worst time for a detailer to move because that's when you're the busiest.
Yeah.
As soon as the weather breaks, boom, my phone is exploding with messages, calls, Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to shut down for a week. And I remember keeping like a running list of everyone that wanted to get there. I was at like 35 people. I'll call you back. I'll call you back. I'll call you back when we move. I'll call you back once I get settled in. So I got settled in, called all them back. And then like in the area around me, people got word like, oh, hey, a detailer moved out here. We need to get it. It was crazy because people would just pull into my driveway and be like, hey, you just moved here. We heard you detail cars. I'm like, yeah. All right, put me on your schedule. So I was like, all right, I guess this is going to work out here. This is good.
Yeah.
We're doing all right. And again, in the back of my head, I'm going to build a shop eventually. So the first year we were there, I mean, I did 400 something cars.
And was this like did you have a garage attached to your house?
It was an attached garage, but it was smaller than my other one. It was 2 doors. So like any big trucks that I had to pull in were like in and on an angle. I had to let air out of one guy's tires because it was lifted just to get it in my garage. I can't do it outside in the sun. That's just not good. So I was like, all right, that year was over. We were in the like December, January, and I'm like, I need to go to the bank and get a loan because this garage needs to go up. Because if not, I can't keep up with all the people. I don't have the space. So we were only in the house for a year, went to the bank, got a loan, boom, garage was up in April. I was in there working in June. And it was the best thing I ever did. I mean, now I have all the room. I still work in there to this day, and I look around and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in here. I can't believe I did this. Like, to me, it's still mind-boggling that the business has progressed that far in 10 years.
Yeah. And like you said, like thinking back to when you were a kid, cleaning your dad's cars.
Yeah.
Never thought you'd be like doing this like legit.
No, even when I got my teaching job, it was like, all right, now I'm set. I have a teaching job. I'll do that for, my 30 years or whatever. And that's it. But yeah, that changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so like, did you always kind of have like a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit? Or I mean, like,
not really. Like, I was just
until you got a taste of it.
Until I got a really good taste of it. Yeah. And I was like, this is cool. Like being my own boss, setting my own schedule. But it was hard to do that when I was teaching because my schedule was 3:30 to 11, and like summertime, it was like a stress reliever because you have the whole day, it's relaxing. Start at 8:00, work till 4, shut the door, finish it the next day. You're not rushed. You can't rush a detailing job. I mean, you can give somebody a half-ass car and be like, oh, I only had 3 hours to do it. Like it takes as long as it takes. I don't really set a time limit when people call to make an appointment,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can't do that.
It's just like until it gets done.
That's it. And I tell my guys that work with me too, I'm like, they're like, the one guy the other day, he was like, buddy, am I taking too long to do this? I'm like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It just needs to be done right. Like, I don't care if it takes you 4 hours to shampoo the carpets in the car. Just make sure you get all the dirt out,
Yeah.
That's what they're here for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you build this super cool garage and then we're off to the races.
Pretty much because like you put pictures up of that on Facebook and people like I had a guy come in. He came to me solely because he saw pictures of my shop. He's like, I was searching for a detailer like all over the place and I saw how neat and clean your garage is. And he's like, I wanted to come here.
Just because of that.
It
is super clean.
It is.
Yeah, I've never been there, just for everyone like listening and watching.
It's funny because I have OCD in the garage, right? But my wife busts me all the time because I can't wash dishes. She's like, you clean cars for a living, but the dishes, like she's like, look at all the spots on these dishes.
There's
I'm
still
like,
food stuck on it.
I know.
I don't do dishes.
It doesn't
I do
excite
cars.
Me. Right. I'm not a dishwasher. I'm a car washer.
Yeah. So all right. So you had somebody that literally came to you. He just sees your garage on Facebook and just becomes a customer.
That's it. And he's like several other people, the same thing. Like we walked in your garage and it's like immaculate in here, and like your cars are clean, and like I want my car cleaned here.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So at what point during your teaching career did you say like, this is it? Like, I'm quitting.
It was like almost a year ago where it was like, I'm done. Like, I remember coming home early May saying to my wife, like, I think it's time for me to go. And, we would have conversations back and forth, but I think I was looking for someone else to tell me like, yes, you need to do it.
Yeah. What did she say?
She was kind of on board for a little bit, but like kind of hesitant.
It was risky.
Really risky. But I remember sitting at my desk at school, like when I had a free period, and like doing some high financing. Like, all right, Jay, if you're not teaching, but you're doing this many cars a week, this many cars a month, blah 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 blah. Here are the bills. And I was sweating like for days. I was so stressed out because I'm like, do I do this now? Is it time?
So you're writing it out like, how much can I make per
like
car?
Notebooks of paper, just like, how much am I going to make on each vehicle? Like based on my previous years.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, I keep track of everything and I'm going on like, I've never had a down year. It's always just progressed more and more. Last year we did 620 cars.
It's a lot of cars.
I'm already 100 over that this year. Like it's insane.
Wow.
Like we didn't have a down year. I'm like, how could this be the wrong decision?
Yeah.
Like everything's right about this.
Yeah.
And I came home and I got really stressed out coming home from school. And like my wife and I never talked about school. Like we never, like, how was your day? Oh, great. We taught, I was teaching fractions today. Like there was never a conversation at our house
about
your school.
Yeah.
We never, it was just like, how was your day? Good. How was yours? Fine. Like we're just like, she's just funny, like, she likes her job, but I was just miserable about it. Like I just wasn't having fun anymore.
Okay.
And, like I said, just springtime was just really stressful. My son's playing baseball. So it's like, come home, clean a car, go to baseball, come back home, finish cleaning. Like it was. And
this is like a couple months into the pandemic, right? At this point.
No, this was the year
yeah,
after.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the pandemic was awesome because I was home.
Right. Okay.
And just making bank doing cars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
So the following year we're in and out of school, virtual. Then we're back in school with half the kids. We're back. So it was like all over.
Yeah,
the
I
place.
saw your kid. He had his own desk and computer set up in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virtual school in the shop. Yeah. So when I came home, and then I just remember the last conversation. We're sitting at the dinner table, my wife and I, and I'm like, I think I really, and she just looked at me and she goes, I support you no matter what you do. And that was like all I needed. So that helped me out. And I was like, okay, so nowhere to lie. I go to school like the next couple days. I get an email. They send out an early incentive email every year for teachers to retire early. That pops up, and I'm like, look at this.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Yeah, what a coincidence. So I printed it out. I carried that packet around with me for like 2 weeks. And I was like, do I sign it? What do I do? What do I do? And like I talked to my mom about it. And she was kind of in shock, but she's like, same thing. I support you no matter what you do. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm getting more people that are saying like, kind of like, do it. And I was like, it was coming down. I forget the actual date. It was the end of May when I had to have the paperwork in. I like submitted it at 3:00 the day it was due.
Like right on the deadline.
Like I sent the email and ran out the door and went home. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I just did that. Like, and a few teachers that I worked with, like my close friends, they knew
that you
like
were
I was telling them that it's probably going to happen. And I remember like they came running in the room and they're like, did you send the email? I'm like, I did. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, I know, I'm going home. I got a car waiting in the driveway.
Yeah.
I went home and like, I had some other like heart to heart discussions with friends about it, and they kind of helped me make the decision as well. They're like, same thing, like, what are you happy you're doing? It's not always about the money, it's about my family. Because I was the dad where like my kids would get off the bus after I built the shop, and my house is 350 feet away from the shop. They get off the bus and I would wave to them, they would run in the house, and then like I'd come up for dinner and then run back. And I'm like, I don't want to be that dad where they like, when they grow up and be like, yeah, my dad was awesome. He had a bunch of classic cars, cool garage. Never saw him. He was always working. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to do it. It's the best thing I ever did.
So that was it.
That was it.
That was probably more so the deciding factor was, like you said, like
family.
With your kids.
Absolutely. Like now, like I never missed any of my kids' events, but now they're getting older. They're involved in more things. So now like, it would have been my wife taking my daughter to soccer practice. No, I could take her. I could take you to soccer practice, or my son's, he's signed up for soccer and he's playing flag football. That's coming up. Like, I could be there, you know, like I always coached my son's baseball team, made sure of that. But
yeah, but just that home time.
Right. Now, like, I help put the kids to bed, you know, I'm there for dinner and I don't have to be like shoving food down my throat and then running back to the garage. Like, we could relax and talk about our day and, you know.
Yeah, how was your day? Good. How was your day?
Good.
Fine. Yeah.
My day was awesome. I cleaned like 5 cars, but now I
yeah.
talk about my day a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a good decision.
That's cool.
I'm definitely happy with my decision.
Awesome.
For sure.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Exciting.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
All right, so let's talk. I don't know anything about cars. I like cars,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know anything about them. So tell me like what you do. Obviously, you know, you clean and detail cars inside, outside.
Yeah.
Like, tell me a little bit about like your process and just
So, I mean,
what you do.
We have a pretty good schedule. Like, the car will come in and we wash it first. So, I mean, I have a couple guys that are helping me out now, so life's a little bit easier too with that. But we'll wash the car first, and then one of my guys will dive into the inside and, you know, they start with vacuuming. And sometimes you get some cars that are just trashed. I mean, people leave their trash, like disgustingness inside of a car. So, like, glove up. You feel like you got to put a hazmat suit on sometimes.
Yeah, it was like, what's the worst?
Ugh.
What's the worst you've ever cleaned?
I had one in the other day that was pretty bad. Just like the seats were just disgusting, and like I never had any like vomit or anything in the car. Like, I'll
That's
tell
good,
people
yeah.
no, like, because
Yeah.
I would probably add to the vomit that's already in the
Yeah,
car.
they give more vomit back.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't do that, but I mean, if they don't tell me about it and we clean it, then if I didn't know about it, then we're fine.
But
Like,
if you know,
if I know it was in there, like, no,
it's a no-go.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of them that are just trashed, like leave garbage in there, cigarettes all over the place, like ashes all over, cigarettes destroy the inside of cars. I mean, it's like the nicotine is just on everything. So like, you're spraying it with cleaners and it's like turning yellow on your towel. It's pretty nasty
Gross.
stuff. It's gross stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff that we use the carpet extractor and like get that stuff out of the seats, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
But those I actually enjoy doing. Believe it or not.
Make for good before and afters.
Absolutely. Like, that's what sells.
Yeah.
But like, I like when the customer comes in and they're blown away by their car. They're like, holy crap, like, my car was destroyed. It looks like it just rolled off the showroom. Like, that drives me also to get the cars done. you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah.
I hate when I'm not there when they pick them up. Like, if they're like, oh, I'm working till 11 o'clock tonight, just leave the keys in it. And I'm like, oh, all right. Like, I like to
see the reaction.
I like to see the reaction. Like, they come in and they're like, oh my God, look at that thing. That's another key factor for me. Like, that excites me to get
Yeah.
with the business.
And I've seen the before and afters. I've seen your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I've gone down the rabbit hole of watching the videos of you cleaning your cars.
So satisfying.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like oddly satisfying. Mm-hmm. You know? All right. So I know there's like all different types of stuff that you do. There's like ceramic, this and
Yeah,
that. Like,
so-
what does that even mean?
So, I mean, waxes, no one really uses waxes anymore. They're kind of old. They don't last long. They only last a few weeks. So like the next thing up from that is we use sealants. So they could last like up to 6 months. And then beyond that is ceramic coating, which is a little pricier to begin with, but it holds up and lasts. I mean, we do a 2-year coating and a 5-year coating.
How pricey is it? Can I ask?
You could ask. I mean, close to $1,000, if not more.
And
for a
that
vehicle.
lasts either 2 or 5 years.
Yeah,
You said?
yeah, depending on the size of the vehicle and
And what does that do? It like protects it from.
yeah, UV. I mean, it's easier to clean. It gives off a better shine. You know, like when you freshly wax a car and the water beads up really nice.
Yep.
Like, you could expect that for the whole life of the coating.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a major difference.
There is huge difference. And then even just cleaning the car, you could clean a car in half the time if it's ceramic coated. And we use a leaf blower to dry it off. Like,
Nice.
it just makes life easy, you know? Like,
Yeah.
And we're doing like 2 to 3 a week. A lot of people buying brand new cars still, even though there's nothing on the lot. People are still coming in with brand new vehicles.
They're finding them somewhere.
They're finding them. And like, that's the best time to get it done because the paint is still in good shape for the
Okay.
most part.
Yeah.
As long as the dealership didn't wash it.
Yeah. Then you're screwed.
Then there's some scratches to get out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't use the best practice. They're not a detail shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might have a detail shop, but they're
The guy washing it's not you.
not me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the best time. We have a lot of people that come right from the dealership, 200 miles on their car.
Oh,
bring
wow.
it right in and get ceramic
Interesting.
coating. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like
I had
said, I don't know anything.
I had a guy come in. He called me. He was buying a brand new Subaru WRX, and he's like, "What should I like tell the dealership? Tell them don't touch it."
Was this recently?
This was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, was this blue one? I think I saw.
Yeah, I still had the plastic
yeah,
on it.
Looked really nice.
It was
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Anything else?" I'm like, "When it gets there, tell them don't even take the plastic off it." He's like, "Really?" I go, "Yes. Don't even touch it."
Wow.
So it showed up in my shop. I don't know how long he drove it around. I mean, there was a couple miles on it. I mean, I'm sure you're excited you get a brand new car, you want to drive it around, but you have white plastic all over a blue car. It kind of looks weird.
Yeah.
And they wrote on all the plastic, "Do not remove."
That's funny.
He said when he showed up at the dealership, it still had plastic on the wheels, and they're like, "Do you want us to take the plastic off the wheels?" He's like, "Well,
No, Jay said don't."
Yeah, don't touch it.
Jay said leave it on.
I'll take it off. I'll come up to the dealership. Yeah. But I mean, it's just because it comes in and there's no one has touched it. There's no like imperfections in the paint. It just makes life easier, and then it'll help you out on the price too because I don't have to spend as much time on it.
Taking out scratches.
Yeah, I mean that's the majority of the time.
Is it?
I told you I was working on that truck for the last 3 days. Like I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Why?
I should be home working on it now, but I'm
Sure,
here.
you're here. Yeah, I took you away from
It took me away from my job. I mean, it's close to being done, but it was a black truck. It was used. It has 30,000 miles on it. It's a 21, I believe, and it might be a 22. But it was just I think they just didn't take care of it properly, the previous owner, and it's just scratches everywhere, like fine scratches throughout the whole entire every panel.
Nightmare.
It was a nightmare. Black's the worst one to take care of.
It is.
You know,
It is,
they look awesome when they're freshly cleaned, but like trying to keep it that way, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Yeah.
All right. So what about your cars? Like, let's talk about like what's your favorite car? Like, what do you have?
So I have an 89 IROC that I bought when I was a sophomore at King's. I was looking for a newer Camaro, but at that time I couldn't afford the payment on it. So it was like, all right, let's bump down a little bit older and find one. And I bought it for $7,800 and put a ton of money into it. But it was like, I wanted a classic car because that's how I grew up. Like my dad has his original Camaro, 73 Camaro from when he was like 18, 19 years old. Still
That's
has
cool.
it. And he has a bunch of other classics that he got along the way, but that one, like to him, that's his baby.
That's the one.
That's the one. He even said, like, to this day when he gets in it, he still feels like a kid driving it.
Yeah.
And he drives it like a kid, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have the 89 IROC, and you know, we changed the whole drivetrain out and everything right before my son was born because it was just old and getting tired. So we updated all that. And then the new thing is the square body Chevy pickup trucks. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
So I bought a 78. It's funny because I did the engine in my Camaro right before my son was born. I bought my 78 when my daughter was born, and I just bought an 85 a few years ago when my youngest daughter
This
was.
is like a thing here.
So like if I had another kid, I'd probably have to buy another.
You have to.
You know.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, actually, when my youngest daughter was born, that's when we were putting the garage up. So it was like,
Okay.
you know, I guess that's how I keep track of when the kids were born and how I don't know. But yeah, the square body trucks are the next thing, and we're planning on doing an engine swap in the 85 soon. Hopefully this coming winter. That needs to be updated. It's pretty tired, but
Tired.
yeah, it's tired. It's worn out. Smoking a lot and just not running right.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Poor car.
it is, but I mean, I bought it with intentions to do the engine swap and update it
Yeah.
and everything. So
Yeah. So
I just needed a solid foundation.
need some love.
Yeah, it needs some loving.
A little TLC.
Yeah, it already got the detailing loving. Like I did all that stuff.
Right.
But
Now you gotta do the
the
interior.
mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the
Doesn't your
next
brother
one.
do that stuff?
He's the mechanic. C Pop's
the
Auto
guy.
Shop. Shout
That's
out to
right.
him.
What's up, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah. So same situation with him. He was working and then he went on his own too.
Okay.
And we had discussed trying to find a central location for the two of us to work together in.
Yeah, you could kind of like bounce off each other.
Right. Because those two things go hand in hand. Hey, you want to come in, you get an oil change, you can get your car clean while it's here too. You know, that would have worked. It would have worked out perfect. But it was just the thing of like, in my situation, like if he was going to be doing it full time, he would be there all day. And then I would have to like leave school, go there, and then get home when. At least I was seeing my kids a little bit when I was coming home from school.
Yeah.
But he had property at his house too, and we're both like, let's just build our own and then just send each other customers. And that's what we do.
That works.
You know?
Yeah.
It works perfect.
Yeah.
It works perfect.
So what about like some? I know you probably have done some like really crazy, expensive, cool cars. Like what's like the craziest you've ever done?
I mean, we cleaned an airplane once, not like a 747,
But
like one of those.
Doesn't fit in the garage?
No, we're not going to squeeze that in, But
you need a bigger garage.
So we went to the Hazleton Airport and did like one of those little Piper small.
Yeah, okay.
That was cool because that totally different than, I've never cleaned an airplane. I remember the guy calling me.
So yeah, how did that come about? Because like you just like, I feel like most people probably, maybe not so much now, but maybe prior to this, people probably think, hey, this guy just does cars only.
Yeah, and I don't know. This guy just got my number from somebody. Called me and said, "Hey, listen, I have an airplane."
Well,
and I'm like, "Where are we going? Like Avoca, like up here?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I have a small airplane that he would fly back and forth to I believe Pittsburgh to visit family. So he bought himself an airplane." I'm like, "All right, cool." I said, "Well, I need to come look at it first and like get a game plan put together. Like, I don't even know what the hell I'm going to do." Like, all right. So I remember I took my son to the hangar and we looked at it and I'm like, all right. And at the time I only had one other guy working with me. So like the two of us went out and spent like the entire day there, just like on scaffolding and ladders and crawling underneath it. And it was cool. And we did the inside and like cleaned the seats out and stuff. And that was cool, And I always joke, like, if I've said it to you earlier, like if somebody's paying, I'll clean it. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
Like I told you that guy just dropped off 3 lawnmowers, like older riding lawnmowers, like tractors. And he's like, "I saw you've been doing some interesting things." And I cleaned it. I mean, yeah, I cleaned it. I did a farm tractor a few weeks ago. He bought a new one. And I ceramic coated it. Like he's out in the fields now planting his corn. I saw him in a video the other day.
He doesn't want the corn thing scratching the
easy to clean now, you know? Any cow manure flops up on it,
wash it right off.
Rinse it off. You're good to go. But so he dropped them off yesterday. He's like, "Here's 3. I got 2 more at home."
3 ride-ons.
3 ride-ons. They're a little faded, so I'm gonna polish them out. And yeah, so we did that. And now we're doing like boats. We had a awesome boat in the other day to do.
I saw that.
Really nice. I mean, you got to butter it up to get it in the garage. I mean, it just barely fits through the door.
Yeah.
But so we're doing those trailers, RVs. It's insane.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, we had a triaxle coming next week to do.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you do all types of
types. Yeah, we do. So I have a hard time saying no. That's the other thing too. Like somebody will call me and be like, "Oh, we have this trailer," or like we did a horse trailer over the wintertime. And
why is it? Do you just hate seeing dirty cars?
No, it's not the dirty part. It's just like the horse trailer was tough because I polished the aluminum. Like I'm not much of a polishing guy. Like I'll polish paint, but like that's a dirty job, aluminum. If you ever saw like when you're polishing aluminum, it turns black like sooty.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself head to toe covered. Like it's just not fun.
Dirty jobs.
It's a dirty job.
Be on dirty jobs.
Yeah, I mean, if Mike Rowe wants to come down and check out the inside of some of the cars we do,
shout out to Mike Rowe.
Seriously. Is that even a show anymore? Is he still on?
I don't know either. It was a cool show, though.
It was.
We'll have to send them an email.
Yeah, see if we can get him up
Get him up regardless. You can make your own video.
Either way, I'm sure he has really cool cars. We can clean those for him.
Definitely. Bring him up. So so over the years, like how did you really grow the business? Like what, was it mostly word of mouth, social media?
So like people always say like word of mouth is the best advertisement. 100% agree on that.
Besides
like
the koozies
and like t-shirts and hats and stuff, but doing the job, doing it right, that person's going to go home and what are they going to do? Oh, they're going to be at the bar that weekend and be like, "Oh, your car looks awesome. Yeah, I just had Jay do it." Like, "Oh, who's this guy? Give me his number." That's where I get a lot of my business from. That and then once the Facebook page started, like, because you could showcase all of your work. So, you're trying to keep up with social media nowadays. Like you're on TikTok and I'm trying to make videos on there. And like, I got a couple customers from TikTok and Instagram and like all that stuff. You're just like uploading pictures constantly. Like, I think the guys that work with me probably think I'm crazy because I'm always walking around like taking video and they're like, "Is he taking video of me to make sure I'm working right?" Like,
yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm, before and after pictures." Cause that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like when I put those videos up or pictures, how many people comment on it or message me.
I was one.
You were, yeah. Within that, like, a couple days. Like, "Oh, I just saw you did my buddy's truck," or "I saw what you did to that car. Mine looks very similar. Let's schedule an appointment." Like that's for me. That's where a lot of the business comes from. So word of mouth and social media.
Yeah,
100%.
So you're there making TikTok videos now.
Yeah,
trying to anyway.
Trying.
Right.
I'm not the best at editing, but I mean, we're getting a job done.
Hey, you're putting the content out there.
That's it.
I think that's all that matters.
I think so too. Just as long as you showcase yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And the power of social media. I mean, I think it's, especially for like a business like yours, that's so like, I think the before and after things are like, they're so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like to me, I mean,
Right.
even just like watching the video, I watched that one video on your YouTube channel of just, I think you were like shampooing.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's funny, like there are a lot of other detailers like that have channels. It's very similar to mine, you know, and they all do the same thing. And like the comments that people say like, oh, that's so satisfying to watch you just like extract dirt out of someone's.
It is.
I'm like, okay.
it's almost like power washing.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I mean? It's like a similar kind of, you watch somebody power washing. It's like
Right.
similar with the, what do you call it? The shampoo.
The shampooer. Yeah.
The shampooer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's
It's good stuff.
got to keep up with it though.
Tell me a little bit more about the business. I mean, I heard you say a couple times that you have some other guys working there, so it's not just you. So
It's not just me. Cause I mean, 2018, we moved to the new house and business started to get a little crazier. I was like, man, I can't do this myself anymore. Like I'm trying to schedule. I was able to do like 2 cars a day, like in the summertime. But I was like, but if I get somebody, that's like 3 or 4 cars and that's more money in our pocket, you know? So I had a kid come on, and the cool thing was like, he showed up. Wyatt, if you're going to be listening to this, great kid. He's been with me this will be the 4th summer, I believe. And, he showed up, and I remember like our conversation. I said to him like, so do you ever wash your car or anything? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. Did you ever like put any wax on a car before? He's like, nope.
sounds just like me.
I'm like, this is awesome, but that's good because you don't have any bad habits. Like, I'm going to teach you how I do it, and then that's the way you're going to do it. I'm like, this is perfect.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know, so it worked out really well. And I just trained him like the first summer he did the basic stuff. And then like the next summer it was like, all right, I'm going to show you how to use these polishers that I have here.
So he's like a mini J.
Yeah, he's getting there. Yeah. He's like helping out with ceramic coatings now and like doing some bigger jobs with me. And I'm doing the same thing with the other 2 guys that are working for me.
So you have three other people?
I have 3 total, for this summer. And one of them is one of my old students, Ian.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in my 4th grade class. We're
That's
friends with his
super cool.
parents.
Yeah.
My wife teaches with his mom. And, you know, we were out for dinner one night and I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, I need to hire somebody else. And he was 15 and his dad was like, maybe Ian will want it. I think Ian would want to do it. I'm like, yeah, see what he says. Like same thing, shows up. Did you ever watch? No. I'm like, yes, 2 in a row. This is great.
Perfect.
I'm going to teach you my ways, you know? So trained him. And, I was picking him up from his house when I would get out of school. I'd pick him because he wasn't driving yet, pick him up, run him up to the house, and, you know, we would work together, and then his parents would come pick him up. Now he's driving, so it's a lot easier for everybody. You know, his parents don't have to pick him up, and he's on his own. And then I have another guy, he's a little bit older, and same thing, like those 2 kids, one's in college, one, you know, so when school starts, Jay's by himself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, summer was awesome. Now I'm by myself. What am I going to do? I can't do this.
Yeah.
So
But
like,
you probably also slow down, right? A little bit.
you know, I thought I would, but I didn't. Like I thought, so this was like my first year out, you know, not teaching. So I was like, all right, I guess like it usually used to fall off around December. You know, the first snowstorm always just, that's it. Nobody
Killer.
wants, yeah. Why are you going to want to get your car clean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll probably just be sitting on a couch drinking beer, sending the kids to school and just like hanging out all day with my daughter. And because she was only 2, she just turned 3. I'm like, the 2 of us will just hang out at the house. But I never stopped like all winter. I at least had 1 car to do a day, even through snowstorms. They're like, yeah. I'm like, I have the room. I'll keep it inside the garage. So you don't have to worry about, so that, you know, the car would stay for 2 or 3 days. And we did car wash specials throughout the wintertime, which was awesome because you set like 30-minute intervals and just have people bring their car in. They could wait for it. We wash it, boom, send them home. So I'd schedule like the whole entire day and just have a revolving door.
So even just a regular car wash.
Just a regular car wash. $25. Come in. We do a car wash, throw a coat of like spray sealant on it just for a little added protection. Send the car out. Next one comes in. Boom. They wait for it. Boom. Next one. Just keep revolving door all day. And that was good because it kept me busy in the wintertime, but it also kept people coming in so they don't forget about you. You know, and I have customers now that are like, are you going to do that in the summertime? I'm like, I wish I could.
the time,
I don't
yeah.
have the time then, you know? Like I thought about I'm trying to come up with something like a wash Wednesday, or, you know, I used to work 7 days a week. I don't want to work weekends anymore. You know, I'm trying not to do Saturdays, family stuff. It's why I stopped teaching. So I had more time with family. But like Saturday would be a good day to do a car wash. So like, probably ask the guys if they want to work, and I could not work that day and they could just wash cars, but that was a good thing that kept me busy in the wintertime. So there really was no downtime this year.
Wow.
And I'm hoping that continues. It just depends on the weather.
Yeah.
If we have a really snowy winter, then I probably won't do a lot of cars. So maybe I will be drinking beer on the couch. We'll see.
Yeah. So it doesn't really sound like you've had many, I'll say, like obstacles so far as like we'll say, new full-time business owner.
No, dude, it's been, I don't know. It's just been very simple. Like the whole thing just like kind of fell into my lap and just worked out every single year. Like I never had any issues. Like I never thought in my mind, like, it's not going to work. This isn't going to work. Everything just continues to work. And I don't know. It's just great the way it's.
What do you think you're doing like right? The best.
I mean, we're just providing quality of service for people. Like we're just doing the best that we can and cleaning up cars and making them look good. And obviously people are happy with it because they're coming back.
Yeah.
And they're telling friends, and like we have so many new customers that are coming in this year. It's crazy, but I've built a lot of relationships with my current customers or my continued customers that have been coming in even since I was at the old house.
Yeah.
Like we're almost friends now, like, oh, how's your son doing? What grade is he in now? Like he's in college. I'm like, oh my God, I remember when he was like, he was in like 5th grade when I first met you guys. Yeah. So like, I like that aspect too, just building relationships with my customers. And I think that goes a long way.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. So like, all right, so let's talk about, like, do you have any like crazy pet peeves when it comes to like cars? Like are there things that people do like interior, like or anything, even exterior, that you just cringe? What makes you cringe?
When I drive by like a car wash, like a self car wash, and you see the people with the brush.
Oh, I made that
like even
mistake.
that,
I used to make that mistake.
Dude, no.
Not anymore.
I was going to say.
Not anymore.
You better not. Not
Now
especially not after
now
today.
I got to come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that makes me cringe. And even now my wife sees it, or my son will be in the back seat and be like, Dad, look at that guy cleaning his car.
What's he doing?
And I'm like, no, I don't even want to look.
Don't look at it. It's like a massacre.
So it's that, and like when people clean off snow off their car with like a shovel.
Oh, I think I saw you did a couple of videos like
So I had a guy, funny story about this. I had a guy come to me last year. He just moved to the area from San Diego.
So he was shoveling his car out.
Never saw snow before in his life. Bought his wife a brand new car. And the first snowstorm that he was here for, it was like 15 inches of snow. So he goes out there with a metal snow shovel.
No.
And starts cleaning off the car with the shovel. He put a scratch on every single panel. I think I counted 74 scratches.
Oh
I think
my God.
I think I got 70 of them out. And I'll never forget when he came to pick the car up. He's like, dude, this looks awesome. And his wife comes over to him. She goes, you saved our marriage. She's like, I was ready to kill him.
Oh my God.
Brand new car. And he just annihilated every panel.
74 scratches.
74. And I mean, I had to wet sand them. So I don't know if you're familiar with, take sandpaper, 1500 grit is where you could start. Work your way up to like 3,000 grit. You're trying to level it out.
Okay.
Because those scratches were in like the clear coat. So you have your clear coat, and then you have the color of your car. So you try to level it out and then buff it to remove your sanding marks. I mean, I had sanding marks all over the entire car, and like, I'm like, man, I hope they come out. Like,
oh, man.
This guy's probably gonna get divorced. Like
Poor
his
guy.
life's over.
He's done.
I saved his life.
You literally saved his life.
I did. Yeah. So he was like ecstatic, and I said, I'm like, next time it snows, don't even touch your car. He's like, well, what do I do? I'm like, I mean, they make those they're like snow joes or whatever they are. They're kind of foam, but even that can kind of scratch. Like, I just put a sweatshirt on and like a glove and just like wipe off.
Manual.
Yeah, manual.
Old school.
Old school, so you're not scratching.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Right. Well, what else? Give me some more. Give the people some more good tips, do's and don'ts. What else you got?
I mean, it's funny because I have customers that come in and they're like, my back seat's destroyed for my kids. And I'm like, so is mine. I'm like, I have 3 kids. I know like, eating in the car. My thing with my truck, like if we come home from somewhere, everybody grab your trash. Like take everything out with you. So my kids like grab all their, candies or whatever, because that stuff will pile up. That's probably a good tip. Definitely like the car washes, try to go to somewhere that's touchless.
Don't use that stupid
brush.
brush.
Don't use that brush. Don't use the brush. People people take their muddy trucks and ATVs and stuff in there on the trailer and scrub them.
Rocks.
And then, and you're just grinding it in the side of your car.
Yeah, I did that car or two ago, so I'm good.
All right, you're good.
I'm safe now.
Yeah.
I'm safe from the brush. Marked safe
Good.
from the brush.
So you should get a shirt made.
You should get that shirt made. Yeah.
Should, yeah.
Yeah, you should. Marked safe.
That might be.
There you go.
I like it.
There's your $1 million idea. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cut me
Thanks.
in on that deal.
I
all
will.
right? Yeah.
I'll hook you up.
Thank you.
I'll give you a free car wash.
For life.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
I mean
cool.
that's it's just and people enjoy to have a clean car. I mean, you probably feel good when your car's clean and you're going down the road.
More confident.
Absolutely.
You
Even
feel like everyone's looking at you.
yeah, they're like, wow, look at that. Especially in the dead of winter when it's clean.
Oh,
And everybody
yeah,
else
that's
is
the
like
best.
covered with salt, and you come rolling down the road.
It's
and
like
you're
the
nice.
best feeling in the world.
Yeah. So I mean, even for me, like when my car is clean, which it's not a lot because I don't get paid to clean my car. So I'm training my 9-year-old to clean the family vehicles right now.
There we go.
Yeah, up and coming. The
Yeah.
next detailer. But
The next detailer.
I hope. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not pushing it on him, but he enjoys it. I could see it. And I throw him a couple bucks here and there, and like he's like, "You just paid me for that?" And I'm like, "This is what happens when you work, bud."
Yeah, you get
know?
paid.
I'm trying to instill that in him. I mean, I started working when I was 15 with my dad. I was just about to turn 16, and he's like, "All right, it's time to go to work." I'm like, "All right."
So, I just realized something. You went from cleaning clothes
Yeah, to cleaning cars.
to cleaning cars.
Yeah,
I don't know what took me so long to realize that.
there it is.
I mean, I think I knew it all along. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I knew it all along, but
Right.
it's just kind of funny, but kind of cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been working ever since, and it was nice to have money in my pocket, and everything that I had, I never got handed to me. I worked for it. If I wanted it, I worked for it. And I'm trying to instill that in my kids. Like they see how hard I work. And that's pretty important to me to instill those values in my own kids, because I mean, you see what no one wants to work anymore. They don't want to do it.
No.
Not at all. And I mean, we bought my son, he has a side-by-side, and he wants to put a windshield on it. I'm like, good, work. Get money so you could pay for that. And he's looking at me. I'm like, come back to the shop.
And how old is he?
He's 9.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not slave labor
No,
making him work
no.
50 hours
Yeah,
a week.
no, but you're teaching him a lesson.
Teaching him a lesson. You come back and work. Like I'll have him like straighten things up in the shop, vacuum the floor, like around, get the junk out and dust things off. And, he'll work on an occasional car. He'll come in and I'll help, he'll vacuum. And then I'll pay him for it. And like, he's excited. I want him to understand that. Like you want something, you work for it. Like that's how daddy has all his cars in here. And like, that's how this shop got built. I worked damn hard for it, and I want him to understand that. And my daughters too,
Yeah.
they're still a little too young to understand that, but they'll be back there working too.
They will.
Maybe this summer. We'll see.
How old are they?
So my middle child, she is 7. And then my youngest just turned 3 last week. Yeah.
Nice. That's exciting.
I'm sorry, Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah, she just turned 3 on Tuesday.
Cool.
So, yeah, our house is crazy.
Full house.
It's full. Yeah.
It's very full.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting, man.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. Definitely is.
Any big future plans for the business? Like, what do you think? I mean, I know it's so young, and that's probably like a far out
Yeah, I
question,
mean,
but like,
I always have people ask me to do. Do you ever hear of like undercoating? Like to
Is that, like,
undercoating
underneath?
the car, underneath of the
See, I
car.
kinda know
You
something.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you could spray the underneath of the car to protect it from rust, especially around here.
the snow and everything.
Yeah. And I have people that ask me if I would ever get into that, and that's like a totally different ball game. Like I wouldn't be able to do that in a detail shop because it's dirty. Like you're gonna get overspray all over the place.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do that. I don't think I can do anything else than what I'm doing now because I'm just so busy. Like I thought about, and I don't have room in my garage to like sub it out and have like a tint guy come in. Like you could have a guy come in and do, line up a bunch of cars to have the windows tinted or the big thing too now is like people are wrapping their cars different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, like people do like these like matte black and stuff.
Right. You could do whatever color you want.
What's that cost, by the way?
I don't know. A couple thousand.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a little less than a paint job, but I mean, there's a
pretty
lot
cool.
of
It's
there's
cool
a lot of
looking.
work that's involved in that.
Yeah.
And then there's the paint protection film. It's clear that you put on the front of your car to save it from rock chips. Like that might be something that I would get into eventually, but it's like I just have so much on my plate now that I don't know if I would be able to because then I would be doing that and taking away from my customers that are coming in that want their cars clean and be like, oh no, we don't really do that much anymore. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm just in the zone right now where I'm at, and I don't know if I'm ready to embark on any other.
Yeah.
any
What
other-
are your customers saying? Like, what do they say? Like, do your customers like are they asking you to do newer, different things, or no?
Some of them do, and some of them ask me about like the paint protection film, and like I'll send them to different places that I've seen their work done, and I just tell them like I can't get into that yet. You know, I would have to try it on my own car. Like my truck's my test mule for any new products that I use.
Yeah.
It's
a guinea pig.
It is. It's a guinea pig. Like I'll try it on there first. So like if I do get a new vehicle anytime soon, I might try to do the paint protection film myself. Like you could buy the kit for it and everything and try to put it on there, but I don't know. I tried to put vinyl stickers on like decals down the side of a car last year, and it was stressful.
Oh no.
Like that's not good for me. I'll clean them up.
Not good for the stress
Not doing
level.
that again.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Yeah. There are some things like live and learn. Like we'll do it. I'll tell them yes. Cause like I said earlier, like I can't say no to people.
Yeah, you tell them yes and figure it out.
Yeah, that's basically what that was. And I was like, yeah, well, we figured we're not going to do this anymore. That's
good lesson.
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
lesson.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen again. But yeah,
Cool, man. Well, this was awesome. I'm glad I ran into you like a few weeks ago, and that we made this thing happen.
Absolutely.
Kinda like,
yeah. I mean, I've been watching you, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
I saw-
it's
I-
such
I've
a
been-
cool thing you have going on. You know?
Yeah, man. I saw your name popping up, and I just got to tell you, like, I appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
For the show. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't really know each other. I think we knew of each other.
We knew of each other, but didn't know.
Yeah.
And like when
Yeah.
I saw it, like we both said, but like,
Yeah.
is it him? Like,
Yeah,
are we?
I saw you like 5 times. We were out in public, and I was like, I looked at him, and I'm like, is that him? I think that's him. I'm like, I know he just subscribed to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's what I said to myself. I'm like,
Right.
I think that's him. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
we weren't even friends on Facebook.
no,
Nothing. And I was
not at
like,
all.
I'm like, I think that's him. But I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then finally, I think you made the move.
I made the move. I was the mover on that one.
You were.
I kept saying to myself, like, I just need to go talk to him because I just wanted to tell you that, I've been watching your show and how I think it's a great thing. And then it was almost like an interview. You started asking me questions.
I
And
did.
I
I interviewed you.
You did.
I was feeling you out to see if, like, I think this guy could be a cool guest on my show.
Right. Next thing you know, here we are.
Here we are, a few weeks later.
Yeah.
This is it.
Perfect.
Cool, man.
Worked out well.
Well, what about how can our listeners connect with you online? How can somebody book to come get their car super cleaned?
So you can give us a call or text me, 570-814-0354. Facebook, you can message our page. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Really, that's the main ways to get a hold of us, and we'll hook you up.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, cheers.
Cheers, man. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me on today.
Absolutely. All right, Jason Papadoplos on the Stacks Podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.